Hello students, welcome to online class. I hope you are safe and good. Children, now we are going to learn Standard 9th English Unit 3 Prose Old Man River, written by Dorothy Deming. Children, what is this Old Man River? Have you heard the name before? Yes, okay. The Old Man River is the name of the river found in southern Alberta, Canada. It is the name of the river found in southern Alberta, Canada. Children, by reading this lesson, I am sure that you will get some ideas how to act smart when there is a flood. Okay? Yes. First, let me tell you the gist of the lesson. This lesson is about a group of children find themselves alone at home during heavy rain and flooding of river. The play focuses on the importance of acting during a crisis and first aid awareness. The children help one another and the story Come Till Help arrives. The significant role played by Red Cross is highlighted in this play. Okay children, let us discuss about the author Dorothy Deming. Dorothy Deming. Dorothy Deming was born on 1893 and died in 1972. She was American nurse and children writer. Vassar College, BA 1914, attended LA University. So she did her UG degree at Vassar College in 1914 and attended LA University. Graduate of New York City Presbyterian Hospital School of Nursing 1920. Later on she was graduated at New York City Presbyterian Hospital School of Nursing in 1920. Then studied at Henry Street Visiting Nurse Association. Okay. She wrote at least 20 fictional novels. She has written nearly 20 fictional novels. So children, this is about Dorothy Deming. Okay, now let us discuss about the characters. Amy Marshall, 17 years old. Betty Marshall, her young sister of Amy Marshall. Rose Field, 16 years old. The Marshall's neighbor. Sarah Field, 9 years old. Rose's sister. Jim Hall, 17 years old. He is the another neighbor of Amy Marshall and Rose Field. Mr. Peter, member of Red Cross Disaster Committee. He is the member of the Red Cross Disaster Committee. Who is that? Mr. Peter. Penny Marsh, she is working as the nurse in Red Cross. Penny Marsh, she is working as nurse in Red Cross. Okay. Timing, late afternoon in March. Setting, living room of Marshall home. So this story is happening in the living room of Marshall home in late afternoon March. Okay, so let us discuss line by line about the lesson. Scene 1. At Rise. Amy, Betty and Rose are sitting around the living room table. Amy and Rose are knitting. Betty is looking at pictures in a magazine. The stage is not very bright. Okay, so here Amy, Betty and Rose, all these three girls are sitting in the living room table. Amy and Rose are knitting clothes and Betty, she is looking at the pictures in magazine, and the place where these children were sitting is not bright. Okay, it's somewhat dark. So Rose is saying, goodness, it gets dark early on these rainy days. Mind if I raise the shade a bit, Amy? So now Rose is asking, since it is very dark, since this place is very dark, shall I raise the curtain? Shall I raise the curtain a bit? So let us see what reply is given by Amy. No, do, but I guess we need the light on too. She goes over and puts on the electric light. First she says no, again she says yes, and then she also says that yes, but I also guess that we need a light too. So she goes to switching on the electric light. Rose, going to the window. How it rains in sheets. And look, your backyard is a small lake. Now, Rose is saying that your backyard is looking like a small lake. Okay, now let's see what is the reply given by the Amy. Gracious, I have never seen it rain so hard, and this is the third day of it. So now Amy is saying, I have never seen such a rain before, and this is the third day it is raining continuously. Now Betty, after hearing this conversation, Betty puts down her magazine and runs to the window. It's more than a lake, it's a sea. It is not like a lake, it's look like a sea. The radio said the river was about the flood stage this morning. Whatever that means. So now she is asking that I have heard in the radio that the river is about to flood. What is the meaning of it? So now Amy is replaying it. It means that the water is above that white line on the bank at Thompson Bridge. So the water is above that white line at the Thompson Bridge. Children, can you see in the picture the lines which is drawn colorfully? So it will tell you the measurement. Okay, if it cross that line, it is the danger. So here if it cross the white line, it is the danger. So it must have covered the South Meadows and highway there. So she is saying that it must have covered the South Meadows and highway there. Who? Amy. So Amy is saying that the water has crossed the white line on the bank at Thompson River. Rose. It isn't only the rain. It's the snow melting in the hills in the northern part of the state. So she is saying that it is not only the rain, it is also the snow melting in the hills in the northern part of the state. The girls return to the table. Oh, I hope we don't have a flood here. There is a noise of stamping feet and someone breathing hard. The girls all look to the right, the direction of the sound. So all are looking to the direction of the sound. There is the sound of stamping feet and someone breathing very hard. So who is entering now? It's a Jim Hall. He is a boy who is 17 years old and he is a neighbor of the Amy Marshall and Rosefield. Okay, entering from right in shining wet raincoat and rain helmet, which he drags off as he enters. So as soon as he enters, he removes his shining wet coat and its helmet. He is panting. Gosh, girls, it's a cloud burst. Meaning of cloud burst is a sudden violent rainstorm. I have run every step of the way from school to get here. So he has come running from the school. The river is rising fast, and he is saying that the river is rising very fast. The Bernard Dam gave away an hour ago, they say, and it looks bad. So the Bernard Dam has completely filled, and it has reached its level, and it can come out at any time. So now he is asking to the Amy, where is your mother, Amy? Okay, he is raising the question to the Amy, where is the Amy? After saying the situation of outside, and he is asking about her mother, where is your mother, Amy? Okay, children, I hope you have understood up to this what is happening in the living room of Amy Marshall. Okay, now let us see what happens in further. Amy, she took Dick to the dentist and was going to stop at Mrs. Brand for recipe on her way home. She ought to be here soon. So Amy is saying that she has taken Dick to the dentist and she'll be meeting Mrs. Brand for a recipe when she was about to come home. Okay, so she is saying to Jim Hall that she has taken her brother Dick to the dentist, and while coming back to home, she was about to meet Mrs. Brand for a recipe. She ought to be here soon, so she'll be here very soon. And Jim is asking, and your father? In Chicago on business. But why all the questions, Jim? And Emma is asking, why do you ask all this question? Jim, well, you see, he is interrupted by the ring of the telephone. Amy exists left to answer it. Her voice can be heard clearly. So Jim, she is interrupted. Actually, here he is saying that and some noise of the telephone ring. And Amy is going to attend the call. Let's see what Amy is saying. Hello, yes, mother. I know. Isn't it awful? How will you get home? Yes, mother, I am listening carefully. Yes, 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 I will. No, mother, no, I won't. Jim Hall is here and Roseville too. Yes, all right. I'll tell them. Goodbye. So there is a serious conversation between the Amy and her mother, and Amy returns to the room. She comes back to the room. She is looking very scared, and she is saying to her friends that mother cannot get home from Mrs. Brandt. The bridges between here and town are underwater. Rose, mother says you ought to telephone your mother right away and tell her you will spend the night here. So now Amy is asking Rose to inform her mother that my mother has said to stay here. My mother has asked Rose to stay here itself, and she felt very happy. Rose, I will. That will be a fun. So Betty, you and I ought to fill all the bowls, taps, piles, and pitchers with fresh water in case the town supply is cut off or made unsafe to drink. Mother says she hopes you will stay and help us, Jim. So now Emma is saying that we all together will fill the tap piles and pitchers with fresh water in case there is a power supply or cut off or unsafe water that is unsafe to drink. And she also says that my mother has asked Jim to stay with us. Now Jim is replying that that's just why I came, Yemi. I think I look up a lantern, and so now Jim is saying that so what I have come here, Amy. I know what is the situation. So what I have come here. So let me see. Let me check out where is the lantern. Now Betty is replying, I have got a flashlight. I'll get it and some candles. Now Betty is saying that yes, I have got some flashlight. Actually, flashlight is the American English. Okay, so it's nothing but a torchlight. I'll go and get a torchlight, along with that some candles. Now Rose from outside, still at a telephone with irritation. Central, I'm trying to get main 3022. I can't. There is a pass, and Rose comes back to the door, her face frightened. The telephone is dead. I can't get central. There isn't even a buzzing on the line. So no, Rose is saying that I'm going on trying for the central, that is for the helping line 3022, but there is no connection between that, and I can hear only the buzzing sound, like a sound over there, and her face looks very frightened, and she comes inside the door. Okay children, I hope you have understood this. Yes. Now Jim, means the lines are down between here and town. Well girls, let's get organized. Betty, look up your flashlight and candles, lamp, lantern, or anything you have got. Now we will Jim is saying that we have to get organized now. So he is asking Betty to collect flashlight, candle, lamp, lantern, or anything whatever they have got. Rose, fill the tubs, pails, and Amy and I will check on food, blanket, and coat. So now he is asking Rose to fill all the tubs with water, and he is saying that Amy and I will go and check for the food, blanket, and coat. Better get out the first aid kit. So now he is asking to get out the first aid kit. Everyone make it snappy in the sense all are doing the work very quickly. Rose and Betty exist left. Jim turns to Amy. This is serious, Amy. I don't want to scare you, but your house is in direct line of the river. If the dam has given way, he goes to the window. Well, if it has, you can see for yourself that it means we can't get out by the main road, and we are already cut off from the south side. Look, he points out of the window. Amy joins him. She gasps. So now he is saying to the Amy that, Amy, I am not scaring you, but this is reality. Your house is straight to the river, and the dam has given the way. Okay, so well, if there is and all the main roads, everything has dumped with water, we cannot go out of the house now. It's better we will move to some other place. That is, they are planning to go to the higher place. Okay, so let's see what is happening now. Jim, The water is up around the garage. I thought it was just a pool in the garden, but it's. So after hearing the conversation of Amy, she got scared and she is saying that, Jim, the water is above the garage. So above the water has come above the garage and it is looking like a pool. Jim is saying, the river, yes, yeah, that's old man river himself creeping up to your door. So it's a old man river which has come to your door. Jim and Amy watch at a moment. Amy shudders. Amy, oh Jim, I'm scared. So both are standing near the window and they are getting scared. Now Jim, placing a hand on her shoulder. Steady, old pa. We have been through bad things before and come out safely. Remember the school fire? First thing, we must not let the others see how scared we are. Next, get all the things you can together here: water, food, blankets, coats, light. I am glad I served on a junior Red Cross emergency squad during the war. It's too bad you live in a bungalow instead of two-story house, but we can always climb into the attic and onto the roof. So now he's saying that now Jim is trying to console Amy that do not get scared, Amy. You know how we have survived when there is a fire in school. So now now this is time for us to fight against the water. So now he is asking everyone to collect water, food, blanket, coat, lights, everything. And actually this Jim, he has worked in the Junior Red Cross already as a squad boy, and he is saying that it is too bad you live in a bungalow. Actually children, here bungalow in the sense in the European countries, bungalow is a big house. They don't have the first floor or second floor. It's just a big house. Okay, so he's saying that you have got you're living in a bungalow instead of two-story house. If there is a water in the first floor, they can move to the second floor. But in the bungalow, in the sense they'll have only the big house, one single big house. They don't have a first floor or second floor. So now he's giving a suggestion that yes, we shall move to the attic now. Okay, so Amy, how fast is the river rising, do you think, Jim? So now he is asking the question that how fast the river will get raised. Do you have any idea, Jim? Who is asking? Amy is asking by standing and staring at the window. Okay children, so I hope you have understood up to now. Jim, I don't know, and it might stop before it reaches us. If only the rain would let up. We will signal for help from the roof. They will send a boat or something. So Jim is saying that I don't know. I don't know when it will stop. If it stop, it is better only. But when it will stop, in the sense only when the rain gets stopped, but rain is not getting stopped and it is continuously raining. We will signal for help from the roof. They will send a boat or something. So we'll give a signal from the roof, and in case if someone we'll see if someone is going to help us or not. Now Rose, I have got enough water to last us a week. So who will send a boat for us, Jim? And from where? She goes to the window, screams, horror, looks like a river, look at the river. So now Rose is saying that I have stored water for a week. And then she is saying that she is asking Jim, so from where we'll get the boat, Jim? Amy, hush, Rose, don't tell the others. Jim says we will be all right. Let's see what food we have on hand. So now Amy is saying that no, Rose, you please don't get scared. Jim has asked us, we will be all right. Let's see what food we have on our hand. Let's see what food items we have with us. Let us go and check for that. Who is entering left? Here are lights. Did you say food? Hark, what's that? All four stand perfectly still, listening. From far off, a child voice is here. So they are all saying that here lights are all ready. And did you say food? When they are about to ask, when they were about to discuss about the food, they are able to hear the child voice from the distance. Sarah, Rose, it means Sarah. So now Sarah, and you, that is I told you, yes, Sarah. Rose, it's means Sarah. So now we are going to see one more character, Sarah. She is the sister of Rosefield. Oh, it's a Sarah, my sister. So now Rose, Sarah, where is she? All turned to the window. So all came to the window and they are looking for this Sarah there. Amy, there she is. So now Amy is going to take Sarah now. Rose followed me here, probably. She loves that playhouse, the little monkey. Jim, stay where you are, Sarah. Wherever you are, Sarah, I'll get you. So now Rose is saying that she has went to take her little monkey from the playhouse. And Jim is asking Sarah to stay wherever you are. Amy, it's lucky the playhouse is on the higher ground. So Amy is saying, so she is lucky that playhouse is in the high ground. It is somewhat height. Rose, but isn't? Look, it's nearly afloat. The girls gather at the window. There goes Jim. Look, the water is above his knees. So now the Jim goes to get back Sarah safely. Yes, Amy. He will need dry clothes. See if you can find some dad's thing for Jim. Betty, Sarah can have Dick's. Okay, so now Amy is saying that before Jim's come, let us since it has got wet, we will collect some clothes of Amy's dad. So he is asking to bring the dad's thing for Jim. So now Rose, there he has got her. Amy, I'll make some hot cocoa for everyone. So now Amy is saying that. See, Amy, she is working very cleverly. First, before the Jim comes, Amy, and then for Jim, and then she is making hot cocoa for everyone. Then Sarah, hello everybody. That was fun. Write some more, please, Jim. So now Jim has brought her back with piggyback. Can you see in the picture how is the piggyback is done? And Sarah is asking Jim, will you please carry me once again? And see what is the reply given by the Jim now. So Sarah is asking, that was fun. Write some more, please, Jim. Okay. Now let's see what Jim is saying. No, young lady, that's enough. You're heavy. She is dry as bone. So now Jim is saying she is dry as bone, and I can't carry you, Sarah, since you are heavy. Now Rose, I am not. Amy, you can have some of dad's thing. I am going to get us some supper. Supper in the sense it's a dinner, okay? Food for dinner. As she says this, the lights go out. They all grabs and Betty screams. So suddenly when they were talking this, all lights have gone out. Jim trying to sound casual. So Jim is going in a casual manner. Powerhouse must be out of commission. Light your candles, Betty. Betty switch on the flashlight, lights 3 candles. So Betty, she is switching on the flashlight and she is lighting 3 candles now since there is a power shutdown. Okay, children, so I hope you have understood how these children are acting smartly when there is a shutdown and when there is a flood. So this story is giving us some ideas how to act smart when there is a power shutdown and when I am glad we have an oil stove for cooking. Now Emma is saying I have got an oil stove for cooking. Rose, forward march to the kitchen. Betty takes a candle and follows with Sarah trailing. All exit right, humping trump and trump and trump. The boys are marching. So all goes to the kitchen by holding the candles with them and by saying trum trum trum. The boys are marching. Now Jim, the river was up another foot. Amy, there is another hour and that playhouse would have been floating out in the current, and this rate the floor here will be under water by morning. So now Jim is saying that so already the playhouse is floating, and by morning our whole house, that is this house, will be floating under the water. Or girls and everyone are scared now because see how they'll manage if the house is floating inside the water, where they'll go. So let's see what they are doing. I am going to climb out on the roof and start waving the flashlight. Someone will see it and come for us. So now Jim is saying that I'm going to climb on the roof and I'm going to wave the flashlight. Someone will definitely help us. Amy, but who? No one is on the main road and there are no houses within sight of us. That will be just a pinpoint of light. Aren't you scared? So now Amy is saying that there is no house is near to us and no one is there in the main road. How can a pinpoint of light will be seen to others and they'll come to save us? Are you not scared, Jim? Who is asking Amy. Jim, you bet are you? Amy, terrified, but I am glad you are here. So now he is saying that I'm terrified, Jim, and I'm very glad that you are doing it very bravely, that you are facing this situation very bravely. Jim, we will see it through if we just keep our heads. Time an hour later, setting the same. So same setting at rise. Same group as in living with the exception of Jim. So all children are in the same room except Jim, he is in the roof. Sarah is asleep covered with blanket in a big chair. Amy, Rose and Betty have 3 candles on the table. Betty is trying to read. Betty putting down her book with the thud. So she has become very upset and she is keeping the book down. I can't read by this light. How do you suppose our grandmothers ever did? So now he is asking that I cannot read with this light. How our grandmothers might have read with this light and all. Who is asking? Betty is asking this question. Now Rose, I don't believe they tried to read. I guess they went to bed when it grew dark. So Rose is saying that they might not have read when there is a dark. They might have went to the bed to sleep. Amy, maybe we ought to go to bed. It's nearly 11, but I could not sleep a wink. So Amy is saying, so we too will go to the bed to sleep. It has become 11 o'clock now. It's 11 o'clock. So, but I could not sleep a wink. I could not even sleep for a wink, for a little. Betty, nor I. I too. Who is saying? Betty is saying to Amy. Rose, nor I. Listen, what's that noise? All 3 listen. Rose running to the window and peering out. I can't see a thing. It's pitch dark. It sounded like something bumping against the house. Betty, oh, come back. Let's stick together. Jim, so now see. So Betty is saying, let us make a sound to call them back. Jim, entering left in the raincoat carrying flashlight. Battery is dead. I waved it almost 100 times through. Maybe somebody saw it. Betty scornfully, maybe. So battery is there. So Jim is coming inside the home and is saying that battery is dead and I have waved 100 times. Maybe someone have seen it. And Betty is saying, yes, maybe someone have seen and someone will come to help us. Let us see. Now Jim, it has stopped raining anyway. Let us start moving everything to the attic. Bring the food and water first, then the blankets. I'll do the carrying up the ladder to the roof. So now Jim is saying that yes, it's time for us. Anyhow, the rain has stopped, but we will move to the attic, that is upper portion. Okay, and first let us take water and food, and then the blanket. I'll carry to the ladder. So now Betty, my new spring coat, I'm going to save that. She rushes out left, taking the candles with her. So now Betty is running to take her new spring coat. Rose, going over to her sister, shaking her gently. Sarah, wake up dear. We are going to sleep in the attic. So now Rose, she goes to the Sarah and he is trying to waking up her that we will go to the attic to sleep there. Okay children, I hope you have understood. These children are trying to move themselves to the attic to be safe from water by carrying food, water first and then with blanket. Next Sarah, oh, where am I? So since she is a small kid and she is asking where am I? Rose, come on. She helps Sarah to her feet and quickly wraps a blanket around her. To the attic. Exit left, leading Sarah and taking one of the candle with her. So this Rose and Sarah, they are moving to the attic now. Now Amy, out to get father's most valuable books and mother's jewel case. Now Amy is saying that let me go and get the father's valuable books and then mother's jewel case. Now Jim is saying, Amy, we will need water and food more than the books and jewels. You don't seem to realize. So now Jim is saying that the most important thing is food and water, not your father's book and jewels. So can't you realize what is happening with us? Try to realize the situation, Amy. Who is giving the advice? Jim is giving the advice. Mr. Peter, hello there. Hello in the house. Mr. Marshall, Mr. Marshall, son of Mr. Peter, I told you he is the committee of Red Cross and he came for the help now to help Mr. Marshall. And he is giving a voice, Mr. Marshall, Amy, they have come for us, here we are. So Amy is saying, yes, they have come for us, we are here. Amy is rushing to the window now. Jim, picking up the third candle from the table, running to the window and waving it back and forth. Here we are, in here. So again he is moving the candle here and there. Betty, entering on the run from the left, carrying her dress box. Are we rescued? Okay, so now Mr. Peter is Mr. Marshall, are you all right? This is Tom Peters and Miss Marsh, the Red Cross nurse. We are here in the boat, so we have come here to save you, children. Jim, row around to the back porch. You can get in there. There is a bumping of boat against wood. Voices. Steady now there. I have got hold of the rail. Tie here up. Okay, so here Jim is saying that you can come to the backyard and there you can tie your boat. From there is a window and from using that window you can come inside. Who is giving this all this instruction? Jim is giving instruction to the Mr. Peter, and along with the Miss Peter, Tom Peter and Miss Marsh, they are the Red Cross nurse who have come to serve these girls and boy. Okay, so Jim and Amy exit right towards the voice. More voices greeting, and then Mr. Peter enter the living room with the lighted lantern, followed by Miss Marsh and Amy and Jim. I hope you have understood, children. Okay. Betty, we are rescued. Come, Sarah. So Betty is saying that, yes, we are saved. Come, Sarah, let's go. Mr. Peter, why are you children all alone? So now Peter is asking, why children, why you people are all around? No elders are there with you? Well, what about you? So he is asking, he is raising question about their parents. No, Rose. Off stage left. Oh, Sarah, she has fallen off the step ladder. Come quick, somebody. I have dropped my candle and it's gone out. Mr. Peter, Miss Marsh, who is carrying a small black bag, and Amy rush off the stage left. So now Sarah has fallen down from the step. Okay, and this girl who rose, she has dropped the candle also. Okay, Betty, I hope she hasn't broken her neck. So now Betty is saying, no, I hope she has not broken her neck. Jim is saying, get the first aid box quickly. It's in that pile of coats. I'll fix a place for her to lie down. So now now Jim is doing actively is asking to bring the first aid box, which is kept in the pile of coat, and here he is saying that let me fix a place for her to lie down now. To let her lie down now. So he arranges chairs, and Sarah lies there. Mr. Peter enters left carrying Sarah. Steady now, you are all right. More frightened than hurt, I think. So Peter is saying that she is more frightened than the hurt what she has got. He places Sarah on the chairs. Amy placing the lantern near Sarah. I am glad Miss Marsh is here. Miss Marsh is examining Sarah. Sarah is sobbing softly, saying every so often it hurts. Rose kneels beside Sarah's chair, holding her hand. Jim stands in the background with Betty. So all are standing near the Sarah. Sarah, it's my leg that hurts. So she is going on saying that it hurts, it's getting pain. So now Miss Marsh, yes, you have hurt it badly, Sarah, but we can fix it up and we will all get into the boat and take you home. You are going to be all right. So now Miss Marsh is saying, yes, it has hurt badly, but don't worry, Sarah, we will fix it up. So we'll go to the boat and then we'll take you to the home. You are going to be all right over there. She motions to Mr. Peter, Jim and Amy to move to one side of the stage, and Rose stays with Sarah. So Rose, she is staying with Sarah, and they are all moving out of the stage now one by one. Okay, children, I hope you have understood up to now. Yes. Then next, Miss Marsh is saying she has broken her right leg just below the knee. We can splint it up with pillows and umbrella and lift her up safely into the boat. I think we ought to take her to the emergency Red Cross hospital armory. So now Miss Marsh is saying that yes, she has got a hurt under the knee, and we have to take her with that is we can keep a pillow and umbrella, and we can take her safely to the boat. I think we have to take her to the emergency hospital, that is emergency Red Cross hospital. Now Mr. Peter, we can take Rose and Betty along too, but Jim, you and Amy will have to stay until we can get back for you or send some other boat. So now Mr. Peter is saying that yes, we can take along with Sarah, Rose and Betty, and he is asking Jim and Amy to stay here itself until he come back, or he sends some other boat. So Miss Marsh returned to surround Sarah's right leg with pillow using an umbrella and cane along the outside and keep her legs stiff. So she is using the pillow and umbrella to keep her leg stiffly. Okay, that is first aid. First aid thing she is doing actively. Now Jim, that's all right. We'll be perfectly safe up on the roof. So Jim is saying that no problem, sir. We'll be perfectly safe up on the roof. Mr. Peter, we can leave you an extra lantern and a jar of coffee. Need anything else? So Mr. Peter is saying that I'll give you an extra lantern, a jar of coffee, and if you need of anything else. Amy is saying only some of your calmness. We'll be all right. Thanks. So you don't worry, sir. You be calm. So we will be all right. Thank you, sir. So who is saying this? Amy. Mr. Peter, don't thank me. Thank the Red Cross. He goes over the Sarah and helps lift her into the blanket roll to form a stretcher. So to make a stretcher, they are making a blanket in a rolled form. Miss Marsh picks up her bag. Jim and Mr. Peter lift and carry Sarah towards the right. We can swing her down into the boat very easily. It won't hurt a mite, Sarah. Get your things, Rose and Betty. You are going with us. So Rose, Betty grab their coats. Betty takes her dress box. So now this Betty, Rose and Sarah, they goes into the boat. They go along with Peter and nurse, that is safely into the boat. Children, have you understood this? Sarah, drowsily, Miss Marsh gave me something to stop the hurt. It has almost gone. So Sarah is saying drowsily, a little tiredly. She is saying that it has stopped hurting. The pain has got stopped. Since Sarah has given me, Miss Marsh has given me some tablets to eat. Then Emina at the door, dropping a kiss on Sarah's forehead as they carry her out. That's fine, dear. Have a nice boat ride. She waves as the stretcher goes out, followed by Rose and Betty. Try to get word to mother and that we are all right. Betty and to Jim's family too. So now Emma is saying that please, if you see mother, says that we are all right. Okay. So Betty and Jim family too, and inform this to Betty and Jim family too. Then Betty, I'll try. I hope you will be rescued soon. Bye. So Betty is saying that I'll definitely, if I see Betty's parents and Jim's parents, I'll inform. Okay, so now Rose. Goodbye, Emmy. Good luck. Emmy is saying goodbye. There is more thumping, only less loud than before, and voice is giving direction. Emmy fuses with the lantern, trying to get it lighted. Okay, so she is showing a light to the boat. Then Mr. Peter off stage. You will be all right, Jim. So Peter is saying that don't worry, Jim. You will be all right. We'll send you a boat. So he is consoling Jim, and they are riding in the boat, and they are moving. They are going back to their safe place, leaving Jim and Emmy. Jim. Yes, don't worry about us. Goodbye. So Jim is saying, don't worry about us. Goodbye, Mr. Jim. So voices in distance, the sound of oars. Jim enters light, wiping her forehead. So he comes inside, wiping his forehead. Amy gets the lantern lighted and blows out the candle. So she is having only the lantern now, and she is blowing out the candle because she don't want to waste the candle. Water is dropping. He pours 2 cups of coffee from Mr. Peter's jar, hands one to Amy, rises his cup as through in the toast. Here is to the coffee, lantern and rescue. I am glad we have a are drinking coffee now. Who? Jim and Amy. Amy and a Red Cross nurse for emergencies. Thank God for the rescue. So he is saying that yes, along with them, Red Cross nurse is there for the emergencies. Thank God for the rescue. So she is thanking God for the rescue. Both lift the coffee cups and drink still standing. So both are lifting the coffee cups, but still they are standing and drinking the coffee. Yes, children, I hope you have understood this lesson. We all know this how to act smartly when there is a flood. Okay, now Jim and Amy is safe. Sarah, Rose, and Betty, they too are safe. Okay, children. So this lesson has given you a nice explanation how to act smartly when there is a flood. Okay, children. So now let us discuss about the notes. Children, PDF notes of this lesson will be sent through website. So please try to write the notes, write neatly, complete the classwork, and kindly submit your classwork at office room. Children,